Hey guys, so today I will be talking about abusive relationships. Many individuals ask themselves if their partner is treating them the correct way. Do victims even know what an abusive relationship is? Why are they hurting them? And there are many types of abuse in relationships with different warning signs that victims struggle to recognize. Victims seem to confide in their partners in every aspect of living, ranging from money to confidence. The strong need of their partner's presence sometimes blinds them from seeing the abuse that is taking place. The types of abuse that exist are emotional, financial, physical, and sexual. These types of abuse lead to victims staying for a long time because their partners are their only support system. They hold on to the thought that they know their abusers love them or they believe they are responsible for the relationship. Abusive relationships are hard to identify from the inside, but as society, we have the choice to help each other. Some of the things we can do is let our victims know that they are not alone, not pressure them into leaving the relationship, and changing the perspective of how the society thinks what a healthy relationship looks like. The definition of abuse looks very simple but not very graspable. On the Healthy Place website, they explain how many people may confuse the meaning of abuse. The author goes on to inform how abuse is often looked at as if everyone has once been hurtful to someone, so it's no big deal. For an example, I would like to add that let's say I pull my sister's hair. That would be abuse. That's what many people think it is. Straightforward abuse is when someone wants to have control of a person, simply of not letting them hanging out with their friends or control of their banks and stuff like that. I will go on to it later. An abusive relationship, according to the Center for Relationship Abuse Awareness website, is a pattern of abusive and coercive behaviors used to maintain power and control over a former or current intimate partner. An abuser tends to make the victim feel powerless and lonely to achieve the control of a victim's life and decisions. According to the National Center for Victims of Crime website, controlling behaviors include not letting you hang out with your friends, calling or paging you frequently to find out where you are, whom you're with, and what you're doing, telling you what to wear, and having to be with you at all times. Many victims see these behaviors as their partners just being insanely in love with them and find it warming, which is not normal at all. It's sometimes it can be very annoying, you can say, where they're just calling you and asking where you are. This severe understatement causes victims to stay in their abusive relationships, which can take many forms. Emotional abuse is when the abuser tries to put down the victim verbally. Um, Emotional abuse is also one of the most likely abuses to be encountered. Emotional abuse is sometimes very difficult to recognize or prove that it happened because there is no hard copy evidence like bruises. Emotional abuse is also the same abuse as psychological abuse. And according to the Healthy Place website, emotional abuse consists of any behavior designed to hurt any other person emotionally. Psychological abuse includes yelling, threats, shaming, humiliation, and shaming, among other tactics. The abuser uses mind tricks to make the victim feel guilty in any situation. An abuser may also get to the point of hurting themselves or a loved one and then blaming it on the victim for not doing what they requested. Or, as the Psych Central staff called it, emotional blackmail. Emotional abuse includes manipulating the partners. Have you guys ever been told by your partner to do something you didn't want to, or if you did not do that, where they like, oh well, you don't love me because you don't do what I say. Um, when they basically force you to do something you don't want to, that's probably a sign that your partner is trying to manipulate you. Once the abuser has manipulated the victim enough into believing that they are in love, abusers take a drastic turn and take advantage of their partner's ignorance. Um, According to National Center for Victims of Crime website, emotional abuse behaviors include calling you names, jealousy, or belittling you. These characteristics lead to fear of having of leaving the abusive relationship. Um, as personal experience, I do. It is very scary to leave somebody like that. But as long as you have your family and somebody who can help you, I mean, it's possible to leave. And but I can't relate into that scariness part. Another type of abuse is financial abuse. According to the Healthy Place website, this type of abuse is often seen alongside other forms of abuse. Financial abuse is an example of what abuse really means: wanting to control their partner's life. Um, a warning sign of this abuse is when the abusive partner in a relationship controls the victim's money or decides where the victim could work. An abuser in this situation also supplies the victim with housing, food, and any essential needs for their daily life. So, what does a victim do in a scenario like this? Victims don't leave because they believe that they have nowhere else to go, since they have an economic dependence on the abuser. Sexual abuse is commonly mistaken as just being rape. According to the book Everything You Need to Know About Abusive Relationships, when a victim feels fear or shame because of what someone is trying to make her do with her body, they are being sexually abused. Sexual abuse is when a victim is constantly being pushed, threatened, or insulted to act sexually against one's partner. Sexual abuse also happens with people the victim may date. This is called date rape. Date rape is considered a very cruel form of sexual abuse, mainly because the victim may think it's fine, since the victim is dating the person and finds it a normal form of satisfying the partner. Keeping in mind that the victim's partner made the victim think it was okay to go along. Sexual abuse can drastically turn to physical abuse if the victim's partner is not satisfied. Excuse me. According to a source, one of the websites that I read, only about 4 out of 10 relationships end after the onset of violence or abuse, and only 1 out of every 25 victims seek help. Society believes that it is easy to leave an abusive relationship, but it is not as simple as an outsider believes. A victim knows to what extent their abuser will go to detain the victim from leaving the relationship, which outcomes fear in the victim from leaving. When an abusive relationship gets to the point of their violent partner being their only support, it becomes hard on a victim to be able to leave. A victim in an abusive relationship isolates themselves so the family won't see what's happening. The abuser also causes this isolation with their jealousy and possessive acts. Victims hold on to the thought that they know that their abusers love them. An example of this can be when, let's say, your partner is not that abusive all the time, and it's just sudden outbursts, and then they apologize, they give you flowers, they give you expensive gifts, they apologize. That's when that's just playing with your mind, when you're like, you know what, we may have had a very bad fight, but he still loves me, so it's okay. And it's not okay, guys. If you guys ever need help in leaving a relationship like this, there's a lot of resources, and what are they called? There's centers where you guys can go and talk to professionals to keep you out of these situations. If you guys ever want to talk to somebody, I am here for you guys, and thank you for watching.